I'm going to help you figure out what you actually want in life. Clarity did not come from thinking. It came from participating. You are not behind. You are not late. Not choosing anything is still choosing. I just turned 22. I'm about to graduate college, and for the longest time, I thought figuring out what you wanted in life meant finding one thing and committing to it forever. Like once you chose it, that was it. That was your identity. That was your lane. That was what you picked. And if you chose wrong, oh well, that was your one shot, and you ruined it. Here's what I've learned instead. Not choosing anything and staying in that limbo caught between two different choices is still choosing. But choosing doesn't mean you're locked in forever. And the best thing you can do is keep moving forward. Hi, my name is Grace Cotton. This is Kraken Ink. And today I'm going to help you figure out what you actually want in life, or, as you'll discover in this video, how you make peace with the fact that you'll never actually get there and why that's okay. When I started college, I was undeclared, which honestly, at the time, felt responsible. It felt like I was being strategic. I was being thoughtful, mature, not committing to something when I didn't really know what I wanted. But if I'm honest with myself, part of it was out of fear, because I thought if I didn't choose, I couldn't choose wrong. But by the end of my freshman year, the pressure became too much, and I just decided to pick something. I ended up declaring a dual degree in agricultural science and economics. Not because I had some lifelong dream of working in agriculture or because economics particularly interested me. No, there were two reasons why I picked this degree. One, and this isn't a very good reason, I just thought 2 degrees were better than 1. And if I could get 2 in the same amount that it takes most people to get 1, why not? The other reason was at the time, the war in Ukraine had been escalating. And I had had the opportunity to hear a college professor speak about global supply chains and how the war was going to affect world hunger. There were conversations everywhere about food shortages and how fragile the global ecosystem of food really was. And at the time, that mattered to me. It felt important. It felt like something worth going into. And I want to pause there because this is something that we don't talk about enough. You're allowed to choose based on who you are right now. You don't have to constantly be fighting with a future version of you who wants what's best and wants money and wants all of these different things. If at the time you're interested in something, look into it. Look to see what you can do for it right now. And I'm not saying make all your life choices based on what you want immediately in that moment. We are creatures of discipline, despite what it feels like sometimes. But you can pick to try something based on how you're feeling in that moment. That decision reflected who I was at 18, curious about global food systems, intrigued by economics, and wanting to do something that mattered, that was felt by people. That wasn't naive. That wasn't random. It actually was very aligned with who I am and who I'm still becoming. But here's the part that no one tells you. If I had stayed undeclared because I was scared to pick wrong, I wouldn't be where I am today. And spoiler alert, I'm not in agriculture or economics. Not choosing something protects your ego. Choosing builds your life. And sometimes we hide behind saying, I'm still figuring it out, when really we're scared to just try and commit to something. Always know that you can change it later. What you commit to now is never a commitment for the rest of your life. And I say all of that with the most love and compassion in the world, because trust me, I know. Now here's where it gets interesting, because I'm still graduating with those same 2 degrees. I didn't change it, but I'm going into human resources. I'm working in recruitment. I run a social club. I'm building a YouTube channel. I'm trying to run 4 other social media platforms at once, and most of the time it feels like I'm failing and flubbering around, but I'm still doing it. If you had asked 18-year-old me if that's what she thought I would be doing right now, she would have no idea what I was talking about. None of this would have happened if I had just stayed in my dorm and kept thinking really hard about my future. It happened because I showed up. Because I went to the career fairs, because I went to the info sessions, because I met up with that friend from class and went to coffee. I reached out to people. I talked to someone who gave me someone else's email. The person that I talked to referred me to an intercollegiate job board, which led me to my internship, which led me to take my SHRM exam, which led me to the job that I have after graduating college. All of these small butterfly effects that happened because I showed up led me to where I am today. I applied myself differently, I positioned myself differently, and I was more willing to take chances and ask questions. And none of it was planned. All of it was just engagement and seeing the opportunities that were out on the table and reaching for them. Clarity did not come from thinking, it came from participating. And I really need you to hear that. You cannot think your way into knowing what you want. While it can help, and I am all for self-exploration, write that journal, do that prompt, do what you need to do to reflect and think about yourself, because I do think it is still extremely valuable. But at the end of the day, you have to live your way into the life that you want. I know so far we've been talking about careers, but sometimes living your life isn't just about what you want to do for your occupation or your job. Sometimes it's just about being honest with yourself in super small, embarrassing ways that add up over time. For years, I tried to force myself into being a gym person. I told myself paying for a gym membership was cheaper. Actually, on campus, the gym is free. So I was like, just go to the gym. You have workout gear at home. Do workouts at home. And for most of college, I was in this cycle with myself of trying to stick with something and giving up on myself halfway in. And the guilt of all of that ate me up, because if I'm being honest with myself, I knew what I needed. In high school, there was one year where I consistently worked out, and it was because I was signed up for group fitness classes. They were scheduled, and if I didn't show up, I got charged. I knew that I needed structure. I needed external accountability. But because I had this idea in my head that I was a financially smart person, I didn't need the accountability. It could come from me. And I was putting this pressure on myself to just stick with what I thought I could do, what I thought I should be capable of. Somewhere in my head, I thought gaining structure and paying that extra bit to have that structure meant I lacked discipline. But this past year, I signed up for a Pilates membership and I paid the entire year up front. No monthly debate, no should I cancel, and no pretending that I'm someone I'm not. And the lesson wasn't really about fitness. It doesn't make me less of a good person because I couldn't bring myself to go to the gym with my own accountability. The lesson wasn't I need more discipline, it's that I needed more honesty with myself. What do you know about yourself that you're pretending not to know as an excuse? Because that is where clarity is hiding. I've also learned that we put so much pressure on ourselves to morph into this one easily understandable identity. One career, one passion, one thing that we are. But I don't want one thing. I'm the girl at the bottom of the fig tree that's looking at all the figs and is watching them die because I can't pick what I want. Or I was. Now I just start picking all of the figs. And maybe I don't eat the whole thing. Maybe I just take one bite. But God knows I'm trying all of the figs. Sylvia Plath enjoyers, you know what I'm talking about. I want a life. I want to work in HR and understand people and systems and know about law and recruit people and go to career fairs. I want to build a YouTube and a social media presence and a personal brand, talk about growth, help other people, and make content. I want to run a social club for my friends and host events and be there monthly, write a newsletter, make Canva announcements, run a social media page. I want to make art again. And none of those things cancel each other out. They compound, they build on top of each other. This idea that you have to pick one thing and stick with it forever is what burns people out, or it keeps you frozen. You are allowed to evolve. You are allowed to pivot. And most importantly, you are allowed to outgrow versions of yourself. Thank them for what they did because they helped make you who you are today. But you're allowed to let them go and become someone new. Nothing that you try is wasted. Every class, every awkward conversation, every random event that you just show up to because you said screw it. All of those things, whether you believe it or not, will help you build skills that you will carry forward for the rest of your life. And even if they don't, even if you think that you got nothing out of it, it'll still give you something later on, I promise. It'll be the randomest thing. Your life is iterative. You are always always becoming. So if I had to break this down into some practical advice, it would look like this. Choose based on who you are right now. Don't choose on a version of you in the past. Don't choose based on a version of you in the future. Do what you want to do right now. That doesn't mean don't plan. That doesn't mean don't reflect on what you want. But if there is something that you are drawn towards in this moment, don't ignore it, because it's probably a sign. Engage fully. You never know where the nuggets that are going to lead you down your life path are going to come from. It could be anywhere. Pay attention to what's energizing you and what's draining you, and adjust without shame. There is no shame in pivoting. There is no shame in trying something new. And there is no shame from walking away from a dream that isn't yours anymore. And repeat. That's it. That's the system. And there is no moment where you're going to wake up and feel 100% certain. I'm 22. What I think my life is right now, 5 years from now could be completely different. And honestly, I hope it is. All there is choosing, learning, and adjusting over and over again. And I want to say this very gently, but very directly. If you're waiting to feel completely sure before you pick something, you're going to be waiting for a long time. Not choosing is choosing. And every day that you delay because you're scared of picking something wrong, you are choosing your current life and postponing the one that you could be having. And if you don't like your current life, that's information. You are not behind. You are not late. You are mid-experiment. And experiments require action. So pick something. Take the class. Go to the event. Stack the chairs that'll lead you to your next connection after the event. Sign up for the membership. Start the channel. Be willing to be seen trying, publicly and loudly. That's how you figure out what you want. Not by waiting, but by building. If this resonated with you, I'd love to know, what's one decision that you've been avoiding choosing because you're scared of choosing wrong? And if you're building your life out loud too, you can subscribe. We're figuring this out together, but we're doing it actively, publicly, and without shame. And I think that matters. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next one.